Chat, we got ourselves another best of 5. Rw9 and CRR. CRR rocking the CRR IS. Chris, I think his name is Christian. I don't know if he's transitioning to a slightly different name now. But he's going to be going up against the F16 member Rw9. And Rw9 has been looking really good in 1v1 as of late. But so has CRR. And I think historically, you would say Rw9 was the better 1v1 player. But the way CRR has been rising up the ranks, you just might have some faith in him here in this matchup. But I do think Rw9 is the favorite. And of course, he's going to score the first goal of the series in classic Rw9 style, which is a great save and an immediate counterattack, likes of which not very many players can match. Look at this recognition on this 50. Oh my goodness. Rw9 sees CRR coming at him, so he uses the single jump. He still gets the wave dash on this. He actually wave dashes into the corner there because he still has his jump after the 50. And then how does he force this in? How was there an angle for Rw9 to get that in, but he found a way? That might be slightly credit to the approach from CRR, which maybe could have been better. But still, Rw9 up 2-0 at the start of the series. CRR first. As Rw9, a rare trip too deep into CRR's half. CRR just got the ball dunked directly into his net. It is not often you see kickoffs like this anymore. CRR is actually watching it too. Look at CRR, who is watching the replay. He wants to understand what he did wrong. It just, Rw9 got there early and smacked the ball goal side. CRR wants to know what he ate for dinner. Maybe he mostly just wanted to watch it in order to type out that response. Rw9 throws the XD, taking the compliment from the other top ones player. CRR. Soft flick. Can you imagine that the counterattack is as good as that one just was? And that another 50. Rw9 counterattacks 50s.
Rw9 for your roof repair, new roof fund. You do tons for the community and wouldn't want anything to get in the way of it.
Yo, Langley. Thank you for the roof repair money. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. I will put it towards the roof. But I tell you what, we'll be okay. You know, I do appreciate all the help. I don't mind at all spending the or using the money that the stream is able to make on just more matches, more 1v1s, more tournaments. One day there will come a day, chat, if my goals are reached, well, I will have to start accepting some of the money in order to switch to doing this full time. I do hope that day comes as Rw9 scores the 5th. But for now, only that $20 will go to the roof. So thank you, Langley. I appreciate it. One day I will need you guys to potentially replace my roof. I do want to get there one day. Rw9. Power shot to the back wall. A rare miss at the beginning of this game. CRR. Double reset. He is so clean with those, but he isn't able to finish off the double. He got Rw9 beat. It was just him against the back wall. He just couldn't quite do it. That's credit to Rw9, making it so hard to get over him. He forces you to not have an angle if you do. CRR, great shot, just a little bit wide, considering how little boost he had and the options available to him. About the best he could have hoped for. These two trading back and forth possession. CRR, look at the pinch on the side wall to start this air dribble. The reset, and it's too much. He makes the defending for Rw9 easy by not putting it on net, but Rw9 has a knack of forcing players into just missing shots. It's one of the benefits of being such a good goal line defender, is that these players will stop shooting anywhere in the middle of the net. They know that's going to get scored. I'm only going to score if I put a banger top left, top right, somewhere that Rw9 can't get to. And then the end result is that they start just slamming shots against the back wall and the post instead of putting them in the net. And then Rw9 says his work here is done. He doesn't even need to make the save. And that's been the case for the last couple shots from CRR. Booming power shot from Rw9. He was hoping to catch CRR out of position. Did not succeed. Now CRR, another wall to air dribble. Awkward start from this one. Has to take it from the ceiling, but the end result is still a great shot. But it wasn't just barely inside the post or crossbar, so of course, Rw9 makes the save. Rw9, the demo. Actually, an unlucky enough bounce that he might not be able to score off it. He does a good little keep away double touch. Keeps CRR from clearing it. But it's not an easy angle to make a play on the ground from just outside the net on the back wall. And Rw9 hasn't been able to find his way in yet, but he has held on to possession this whole time. And now he's going to take to the skies for an air dribble. He doesn't see CRR react, so he is not going to overthink it. He'll let the ball come down to the ground, and he'll low 50 if you let him. He says, you have to come up and meet me, otherwise I'm going to be a brick wall on these challenges. What happened with your roof? The roof's okay. It's just a little bit leaky because we've had some insane... While I was on vacation, we had a ton of rain in Arizona, which happens at times, but it sounds like this last week was historical, you know, at least for the time we've been in the house. So we came back to some leaks. We got to clean it up. Oh, nice. 50 from CRR. But it should not be a long-term problem. It shouldn't be a terribly... no, it's not the end of the world for us, I don't think. I think we'll be okay. But I do appreciate your guys' concern. Kyle 9001, thank you for the tier 1. Rw9. Shot on an open net. I think this game has been secured for him for a while. But he is not going to let Rw9, or sorry, not going to let CRR get any momentum going either. You missed the monsoons in Arizona? Yeah, they're great, except for when they tear through your roof. But I have a feeling that is more my fault than Arizona's fault. I think you probably have to be a little bit more diligent with roof upkeep. The life lessons of a new homeowner are being learned here live. (8-2) domination in game number 1 for Rw9. Can the CRR find a way to get past the epic brick wall? Or will it be a clean sweep for Rw9? I did that last time too. A queen sleep. Hey, future Feer joining in here. If you guys really enjoy these show matches, it would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe. Rw9 likes this server much better. Game number 2. CRR and Rw9. And Rw9 continue to hold down his position in the 1v1 world. Position that I would consider higher than CRR. CRR has a tight angle though, and will get his first goal. I'm going to quick go to borderless again. As I check something out, I want to fix some capitalization on the title. I think we got to go capital R and then lowercase CRR. That's the way to go. Rw9 able to snipe the top right corner. And now we shall go back to full screen. Rw9, another kickoff win. Another not short play, but a slow play on the bounce, which is very intentional from Rw9. You can see just how much he is changing his attack based on what CRR is going to do. By playing it slow like that, you can read, and if CRR pre-jumps, you can adjust accordingly. If not, you can try and make the right play like you did there. Just slot it past him. He's had a couple shots that have just been almost here. CRR is lucky that he is still alive in this position. That save, is it going to be able to get him out of danger? No, it's not. Continued attack for Rwas as the boost spawns just in time for him to steal it, but CRR sees his window and clears out some space. He should be able to reset on 100 boost, and not only that, he's going to take the back corner of Rwas because he wants him to be starved, and his air dribble bump will work. Rwas, one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world, at dodging the air dribble bump. Not even he can do it on 12 boost against CRR. You can toggle full screen in borderless with control plus enter. No way. This is a great hint, if true. Thank you so much. CRR's name is Christian. Yes, that is true. That's why I think he's rocking the CRRIS. Although I'd imagine his name doesn't have 2 R's normally. You thought it was Alt F4? No. No, you won't get me with that. Rwas. With tons of space in the back corner as CRR hands in possession. CRR does have the 3-1 lead. 3 minutes left to go, but Rwas, such a dominating Game 1 performance. Hard not to think that he's on his way back if CRR isn't careful. Rwas touched to himself off the side wall. He sees an opportunity to just shoot over the top, and he succeeds in doing so. CRR actually makes the save, but can only force it off the crossbar and then has to make a quick recovery in net with 0 boost and just lands in a position that is awkward. You know, if he lands a little bit higher, I think he actually gains momentum as he swings back down to the ground. Or if he lands lower, he can ride up the top of the net to make a save, but just landed smack dab in the middle where no momentum could be preserved. And Rwas able to punish his late arrival to the ball, but with a soft tap around him. Rwas has got an open net now, and he just misses wide. Not the easiest of angles. Definitely one Rwas prefers to have back. And look at that save. A soft save to redirect the ball. But it did not start a counter like I'm sure Rwas hoped. Instead, just led to another possession for CRR. For the fight off the midfield, Rwas needs a quick boost spawn. It actually shows up right as he's forced to leave. Rwas, the single jump is just to get CRR thinking, and it's not going to matter. CRR finds his way in either way. But the first jump is just to keep CRR expecting him to go high. Never really wanted to. CRR has to respect the fact that he could be going up for a high save. Instead, he lets the ball come down to the ground and get the soft touch that he wanted, but it turns out that's not going to work either because CRR was patient. He's able to just collect the ball and get the outplay. Rwas. Tap to the back wall and a double. CRR just a mistake. An attempt to set himself up on the side wall. Maybe if the wave dash had worked out like he wanted to, he just needed to be appointed a little bit higher up the side wall. Now Rwas to the skies. Early resets. Uses it to actually wave dash away from the play as he sees CRR coming to challenge. Rwas does not want to go all in. That has been the cornerstone of his offense so far in this series. Never overcommitting. Playing reactionary not only on defense at a high level, but also on offense to the way that CRR is trying to challenge him. And this time, he reacts to CRR closing the distance on the ground. The nice little chip out to the midfield. CRR's fast half flip is still not going to be anywhere near enough to put himself back into play. CRR with a possession and actually a snaking dribble. He's able to find a way to score off this. I want to see what Rwas did here. CRR takes a trip out to grab one more pad. He actually just does enough curving around to get Rwas to do, you know, the kill reverse forward. I don't know what to call it, but basically once you're going backwards and forwards multiple times and just absolutely dropping your car dead in its spot, it's going to be really hard to make the right move afterwards. And CRR was able to convince Rwas to do that. And now another quick kickoff goal. And a tie game is right back to a lead for CRR. CRR hoping for yet another quick goal. That was always going to be a tough angle. Rawas up to the skies. A really strong touch away from his own car means it's going to be really hard to protect the ball. It doesn't mean he doesn't want to try, especially late in the game. He needs to find a way to score, but I don't think you really want to set up positions like that when you can avoid it, because approaching the ball from so far away makes it just 10 times harder to protect, as opposed to when you can start the dribble with your car behind the ball. So CRR does take it away. The immediate kickoff goal does erase the mistake. So Rawas just powers it through. Rawas. He has really liked these power shots in this series. Whenever he's gotten a nice bounce that he can use the hang time on to boom a shot, he has been looking to get it over CRR. And although he hasn't really gotten over him too many times, it has created a ton of good opportunities for him. This time, though, CRR handled it pretty well. Quickly turned it into a possession of his own, which is usually why you see players avoid doing that. It's hard to just lob power shots on net and hold on to them, keep possession, unless they're truly either incredibly fast or really well placed. And I wouldn't necessarily say Rawas is putting him at that high of a level, though he's done a decent job of continuing them. He is going to lose this game at number 2. CRR is going to tie it up in the series. A much more equal back and forth here in this game. It was a dominant game 1 for Rawas, but CRR entering the fray here as he ties it up. Game number 3. CRR and Rawas both still sticking to the Fennec, as we see so many ones players do in today's game. Rawas has had a ton of these direct kickoffs, and they're just standard kickoffs that he's getting a great flip to the ball. I think he's just winning the race and positioning slightly better. I don't know how often we see CRR go for the wave dash kickoff, but yeah, we see a delay. That's a very intentional change up to what's been happening in the past few kickoffs. And it's important to see that from CRR. Has to keep Rawas guessing. Prevent him from just being able to rake in easy goals. CRR playing slow, gets this goal. Rawas actually almost made it work. But Rawas is normally so good at these challenges. He just did not expect CRR to be that patient. CRR just chilling behind the ball, was never going to make the first move. He wanted Rawas to make a mistake instead, and he was able to force him into doing so. Did Rawas just lose at 50-50? Yeah, I think he might have. He basically got faked. CRR made it look like he was taking the ball to that side wall, and Rawas tried to read it. Ultimately, that's a challenge, aka 50-50, that he did not win. Rawas, another power shot early, sticking with his play style so far this match. Unafraid to shoot power shots that are all but guaranteed to get saved, as long as he feels like he can continue it for an eventual goal. But the problem is he just hasn't been able to these last few attempts. CRR has done a great job of doing what happens very frequently in ones when you go for those kind of shots, which is put the player immediately back on defense, and not only that, but in a tough position on defense. I wonder if we're going to see Rawas work away from those strong power shots into more of these late dribble plays like we just saw right here. Not nearly as strong of a shot, but still the same kind of play where, I think Rawas knew that that angle was likely to be saved. He just wanted to put CR in a bad spot. That being said, 0 boost. That is a situation where it's not the end of the world to just boom a hook shot, because when the ball slows down with 0 boost, it can be really hard to hold on to it and to earn a good 50. Even if your name is Rawas, you're going to have a hard time protecting it. As soon as that defender realizes you're playing with 0, you become an easy book to read. So you might as well just boom a strong shot like Rawas had. It was probably the best end result for his low boost situation. And those are a little bit different than the ones he's been going for before, because he has been going for ones where he has everything left in the tank. He's just been preferring it. Rawas, a catch off the kickoff. Likely looking for a bit more height on that flick to get CRR to have to double jump. The double jump save does result in a really tough time staying in a good position on defense, but it doesn't matter. Even with the single jump clear, Rw9, another fake on the dribble. He will take down to 50s if you let him. He is going to threaten high, and if you go to meet him high, he'll stay up there. He'll continue the dribble, and he'll try and meet you there and force it through you. But if you're going to let him take it to the ground, just does such a good job of getting a setup that he can constantly protect. And so whenever CRR does decide to challenge, he ends up winning that challenge and getting his goal. Now he's going to fake a flick here. A strong flick would have resulted in him flipping into the net, and I think that's the biggest reason why he didn't go for it. You're only going for that play unless you know for sure that you're going to get a save. And so not only is faking the flick, you know, maybe a better chance of getting the defender to fly by, but also prevents you from just throwing yourself out of position. And patience from Rw9 is going to get him a fourth. CRR tried to get a soft touch that he could continue, but the ball ended up moving his car more than he expected, and he couldn't use that flip to get himself back into play. Rw9 chasing CRR down. Got him to jump, but was not in a position to get a boost corner steal. And now, so if you see another power shot from CRR, or sorry, from Rw9 that doesn't end up working out, and almost just got him, actually did, it got him scored on. So, you know, I'm surprised we're still seeing this from him. It's definitely a change-up, I feel like, from what I've seen Rw9 do, or what I've seen really, you know, the ones meta do recently. We've seen players who can surprise people with long power shots when they're shadowing a bit too close. This demo will probably be a goal. But we really haven't seen players go for power shots as frequently as Rw9 is, just in the open field, like in positions where the defender is ready for them. And it is credit to CRR a lot. I mean, maybe that's really what the answer is. The CRR's defense has just been next level. But I do think that there's lots of defenders that could handle the power shots that Rw9 is putting on. Air triple bump, a little bit too close to the back wall, where Rw9 can just camp out, and he will eventually score. 6-3. Got to make sure your air dribbles are in a position, forces that defender to make a move early. If you drop the ball too short of the net, they can react late. If you dribble the ball near the post, where they can sit on the sidewall, they can react late. And as long as they can react late, they can usually find a way to avoid the bump and get the clear. But if you take it right down the center of the net, force them to get up early to try and get around the bump, that's when you're going to have the most success. CRR looking to bump Rw9 at the midfield, or at least get him out of position. Didn't work, but a great catch. Something that only CRR can do, or only a player at least as good as CRR can do. But Rw9 gets the save, this time coming off of the ceiling. Credit to him. CRR can't protect this ball. He needed 100. Rw9 knew it. So he took his opportunity to strike and said, you can have the boost, but it'll cost you a goal, as he rushes back into the play. Rw9, another direct kickoff goal. Let's see if we can see what CRR is doing on these. So we've watched it from Rw9's perspective. Oh, he's moving slightly off center, but really, really late. I think Rw9 is just going almost straight through the ball. But CRR is making an adjustment at the final moment. I don't know if he's trying to react to Rw9 on the other side of the ball or what. Just would rather not go dead center. Either way, has not worked out for CRR. Great catch. Really smooth catch into this dribble. He actually just handed it over. Not that it mattered much. With 30 seconds left to go, not likely he's going to score 5, but maybe he could have gotten a bit of a confidence boost if he had been able to finish that play. Rw9 not going to rush the ball to the net. Knows that this game is over. Going to go up 2-1 here in this series. Back and forth between the both of them. CRR going to need to win Game 4 to continue the cycle, but he'll have to break it if he wants to take the series in Game 5. as Rw9 has the lead. Game number 4. Rw9 and CRR. The back and forth, will it continue? Oh, Rw9 take another early lead. The air dribble, the bump. One of the best defenders on the air dribble bump. Knows the right recipe for one that can't be saved as he takes it right down the center and high, just like I was talking about. Force that defender to make a move off the ground in the middle of the field. It's just so hard to get around the ball. And if your name isn't Rw9, it's nearly impossible. Rw9 is one of the only ones who, despite a perfect setup, can find a way around. I actually think Daniel has done a good job when I've watched him recently as well. You have to recognize it's coming and get up over the top really early. Rw9 has found ways to actually go around the side of them as well, which I feel like is harder to do. But when you're Rw9, anything is possible. Rw9, quick camera check to see if he's going to have to race to this ball, and he is going to have to race. CRR flipped what felt like into no man's land, but he recovers before the shot comes. Rw9 looking to try and force challenges, it seems, at all times. Look at this play from Rw9. This is a player getting close to entering flow state here as he just wave dashes around the play. Look at how he just never commits to any one of these because CRR isn't making him. And only finally, once CRR tries to intercept it, does he use that second jump, pop it over the top of him, and turn it in for a goal. Every single one of those wave dashes could have been a strike if CRR had tried to stop him then. Rw9 just thinks too quick. Knows when the right time to use it is. Rw9, a very intentional possession play as he slams us into his back corner. Not one to take these high dribbles unless forced to. And look at how scared CRR is of the 50 from Rw9. Because that's a really tough position to protect the ball. Rw9 is falling from the ceiling all the way out to the midfield. And, you know, that is usually a death position. You can't hold on to the ball from there. And CRR didn't even challenge. He just turned away and said, you know what, I still think it's better for me to just play the eventual touch that Rw9 gets. And it's not bad position. You know, it's still going to likely be favorable for CRR, but normally I think you see players challenge there if they aren't playing against a brick wall. And, I mean, these immediate kickoff goals, they have to be cured somehow. I don't claim to know the answer. CRR, he keeps going side on these balls so hard. And Rw9, I mean, if you could be as quick as Rw9 and get goal side, you're going to win that. I mean, CRR has to get there super early in order to find a way to push that past. But right now, just credit to Rw9, who has been pure on the kickoffs. Of course, doesn't win this one, though. CRR able to force in a low 50. Ball falling off the wall. Rw9 doing what he's done the entire series. Just protect. Protect the ball. I don't want to make a play. I just want to make the challenge look unappetizing. And I tell you what, at this point, I imagine every single challenge looks unappetizing for CRR. Because anytime he's looked to make a play on the ball, Rw9 just stops it and then continues his possession for a goal. So now CRR has just been letting Rw9 get closer and closer to the net, trying his best to fake challenge. And it works if you can convince Rw9 to make an early touch that he shouldn't make. That just hasn't been the case. Rw9 has just always been ready. Dara Searle, thank you for the tier 1. Or, sorry, Darasu RL. Thank you for the brand new tier 1. I appreciate it. CRR, the kickoff woes. Are they going away here? He may not be getting direct goals, but he is getting possessions and turning them in. That can be just as worth it. This 50 is definitely in favor of CRR, but the ball just did not come down. CRR thought for sure he had an opportunity, so he camps out. waiting for his chance to shoot on what should have been an open net, but the ball just never, ever, ever comes down. And Rw9 gets to take it away for free because he spent his time picking up boost. Oh, the cure. The cure is here. CRR knew what he was doing all along. Here's a direct kickoff goal for a 5th. And he actually did the same kind of strategy. Still trying to push it left. But this time, probably a little bit more goal side as opposed to going really wide out on the ball. Ooh, Rw9. A surprising touch to the midfield. CRR wanted to put pressure early on the kickoff as he tried to gain control of the ball. It's not easy to gain control of the ball. When the ball falls to your half and you have to turn around and both either grab boost and make a possession play where you're having to drive past the ball and then turn around and come back. Those are really hard to make. CRR knows it. So he's moving in and putting the pressure on Rw9, saying, you have to do this perfectly. You have to gain control of this perfectly or I'm just going to take it away. Even though I'm low on boost, I have the better position. But what Rw9 did was a really tough touch that not a lot of people do, which is getting on the right side of the ball and getting the perfect setup to the midfield that he can continue. And so that's why it looked like CRR was completely out of position, but not often can players do that to him. I'm sure when he creeps up like that. Rw9 is going to extend it. 8-5 with 2 minutes left to go. Rw9 wanting to make it a 3-1. Power shot over the top, and there it is. One of the first power shots we've seen go in. Rw9 has been sticking to the early power shots all series long. And this time, it works wonders on a low boost CRR off the kickoff. CRR continuing to go completely diagonal into the kickoffs, even from the diagonal, meaning like he's just going straight into the ball, trying to force it into Rw9's corner. What a flick. Rw9 had been dominating him by just being quick and getting goal side, but that time he wasn't not able to. Now CRR. Sheesh. 76 kilometers per hour. Rw9 might be the toughest person to get a flick past when he gets to his shadow, because that's exactly where Rw9 wants to be. Historically, he is just dominated from that direct shadow behind the dribbler. CRR putting on a flick that could not be stopped. 6-9 with a minute 30 left to go. Pressure is still on CRR. Rw9, one of the stronger touches I've seen him make when he has a free possession. Normally he's been playing that soft and slow in order to bait CRR in. Out of boost now. Will he stay on the play? He's going to try to. CRR did that touch. Take himself out of position just enough. It did. He had the ball past Rw9. He needed to play it fast, and in an attempt to do so, cut off his angle. And did this 50 just go directly in? No, it did not. Rw9 is not going to take the risk to try and dunk it, and that makes sense. Up 3 with a minute left to go. He doesn't need another one. He just needs to slow the game down. But that demo should be a 7th. CRR's got more than enough time in another demo just to really rub it in. Make sure Rw9 knows I got you twice. Rw9 possession. CRR doesn't want to let him have it. Understandably late in the game. Now he's going to have to make a 0 boost play with 100 boost for Rw9. This flick is decent enough. It's actually going to result in a free possession for him. A lot of time off the clock. Very crucial time. Look at the way CRR is trying to fake like crazy. We've seen Rw9 doing this similar plays. Problem with CRR is he got a little bit out of control. He couldn't hold on to it, but he still kept possession. Rw9 continuing to play the stop the bleeding play style on defense right now, as he's expecting himself to be able to waste enough time and then get a save. In this case, he is not able to. CRR forcing it through, and now with 18 seconds, there's a possibility of CRR forcing an overtime. He loses this kickoff, but did he really? Because he is likely going to gain control here. Even this touch from Rw9 is going to be too strong, and yeah, it's going to lead to a CRR possession. Fake challenge from Rw9. This flick is exactly what Rw9 wants, and that save is going to be high enough. The ball will touch the ground. Rw9 a 3-1. Finishing it off in pure Rw9 fashion. on a shadow defense, saving a flick, and taking the series.